Okay, hello friends. So today we have Kanu Bhutani with us, and he's having 18 years of total IT experience. We are friends. We are getting a lot of requests on creating sessions on business analyst, and here we are with Kanu. So in future also, you are definitely going to see this face a lot in our channel with respect to business analyst. Now this guy is playing a lot of different roles: product owner, business analyst, and in the past he's also the Java developer. So you can understand his background. He's totally from a software background. So welcome Kanu, and thanks for giving your time. And yeah, welcome Kanu.
Thank you, Sunan. Thanks for inviting me, and I'm very happy to join your session.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot, Kanu.
Thanks.
Okay, so shall we start if you allow, Kanu?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so friends, all these questions are most asked. You can say these are kind of situational question, and these questions are asked in lot of business analyst interviews, right? So you can. That's the reason we have categorized them as a generic or general business analyst interview questions, which everyone should know if you are a B or a product owner. So with this thought, Kanu, shall we start, right? Okay. So here the very
Sure.
first one. Okay, so um, we often talk about stakeholders, right? And there are all kind of stakeholders. So the question is how
Yes.
you are going to tackle or work with the difficult stakeholders. And if you can give us some kind of example on a stakeholder management, that will be also great, Kanu.
Sure. So it's a good question, like how we can handle the difficult stakeholders. Now, before we start with understanding who the difficult stakeholders are, we have to identify our stakeholders. So the stakeholders are basically, I've divided them into three main categories. They are primary stakeholders, secondary stakeholders, and key stakeholders. The primary ones are the ones with whom you are having your own team, and also the team with whom you work always. That is a primary stakeholders. Secondary can be, I would say, the people who are the support team, who provide us with the different tools and the accesses that we want from support team. They are the secondary stakeholders. And then the key stakeholders are the people who are some way interested in our project, or who have invested some money in our project. That is, they can be the executives and the persons who are giving their money, or who are interested, or maybe their project is working from our project. Something is working for them. So that way I have identified the stakeholders. Now we have to see, like, who are the difficult stakeholders. Now there can be some people who really sometimes they are very much frustrated about the project, how it is going on, or they are not happy with the project's progress. So they become very difficult stakeholders. Second is that they are not very much into that project, and they are not taking a lot of interest in that project. So they normally become the difficult stakeholders. So then thing comes that we have to prioritize them, that who are these difficult stakeholders. Now, for example, if the stakeholders which are primary, who are working with us all the time, they become difficult. So we have to manage them by understanding what their issues are, and how why do they provide such feedback, or they provide the negative feedback. So we have to tackle with them accordingly. Now, the very first thing which I feel when we are tackling with the stakeholders is we have to stay calm. First, we have to listen to them carefully, what they want to say, what their inputs are. And if, for example, they feel that it is taking a lot of time, so we should keep calm and think and listen to them carefully. Then we should understand what is their motive behind complaints that they are giving us. So maybe the motive can be that the work should get over fast, or their work is pending, but we are not giving the work on time. So the motivation, understanding the motivation is very important, why they are frustrated. Now there can be other reason also, that some of the project team members are gone on leave, so therefore our project is getting delayed, and we have to understand that also. Then we have to be objective. Objective is like we have to clearly define what all things we can do, and we have to give in time to solve the stakeholders problem if they are giving us negative feedback. Another thing I would say is that we have to respond to their queries or their issues quickly. Like normally what we see, that if the email comes and they ask something in the email, and we don't reply to that email on that same day, but we reply on the next day, then again they have to wait for that one question for another day. That will make them more upset and more hyper, and they will get into negativity more. So best is to respond their issues quickly, solve their issues quickly. But now I feel that when we are really understanding their issues, and we are staying calm and listening to them and trying to solve their problems and trying to listen them, but on the other hand they are still saying that no, this has to happen immediately. So on that place, when we really can't do, we have to tell them firmly. We have to be firm somewhere and tell them that these are the say things that we can complete within this much time, and this will take a lot of time, and you have to give them this reason why we are saying that this will take time. So these are some of the important points and ways that we can handle a difficult stakeholder.
Great, Kanu. Thank you for this detailed explanation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, okay. Let's move on to the next question. And this question is revolved around the business strategies, right? So let's say if you have come up with something different, right? So how would you convince a company to employ or deploy your different business strategies? If you can just share your thought around this, that will be great.
Yes, sure. This is very important because whenever like a new idea or a new business strategy is been given or shown to the management or anyone, it is seen that the new idea is really not taken up suddenly, because normally what happens, whenever a new idea is introduced, they feel like it is a new thing, something new process that is coming up, and many people are not ready to change and see the new process. That is not because of that, like they are not interested in new processes, but they fear that what will be the outcome of that new idea. So they are not really known about that new idea. So they really get upset sometimes. So the best way to employ a different business strategy in a company is to get the feedback on your idea. This is the very first thing, that you have to go to each and every person from top to bottom, send them your idea, what your idea is, with all the specifications and specifically why you want this idea to implement. And then you get the feedback from each one of them, and also with the teams with whom you're working. And the once that idea, and yes, we will be getting naysayers. These naysayers are the main important people, because when they say no, we can take some more inputs from them why they are saying no, and that will really help us to grow in our idea and enhance and improve our idea. Then the second point is this, that you get your co-workers on your side. Now I'm not saying that you have to form your groups or you have to form your unions over here, but you have to get a bottom up approach. Like you have to first see that your team, the team who is working under you have to show them your idea and get the feedback from them, and slowly take the people who believe that yes, your idea is good, so take them on your side and slowly move upwards till the top level, and suggest them that okay, see, these many people are there who are really interested and who really feel that this business strategy, if we implement, it will surely work. So this is the second thing we can do. Then the third thing is that your superiors, you have to convince your superiors to move in the right direction. Now this is the third thing, that when, as I told you, that because the top management or the superiors will always feel that the idea that we are giving, will it work or not, and the things which are not actually seen, that what this will give the output, so they become afraid. So we have to win them, and how we can win them, we have to give them a proper specific solutions to them. For example, say for example, if you are doing a sales manager's job, and you are inputting some different strategy, that if we follow this strategy, and you can form the graphs, you can create the all the data and show your management that if we follow this strategy, we can save 20% of our time and we can earn 20% of more profit in this by applying this business strategy. So you have to be so specific. And finally, once you prepare your superiors also, you have to be prepared for people to freak out. Of course, as I told you, that the new idea, when it comes, people will get freaked out, they will say no, we can't really work on this. But we have to implement that. And even if one team, if they implement properly and they really take up this business strategy properly, then we are successful. Then we can also show it to the other teams who are still now saying no. So these are the 4 points that if we follow, I guess we can really employ the different business strategies. So yes,
Great.
Sunand,
Thank you.
that's
Thank
my
you,
input.
Kanu. Thank you a lot. Okay. So now we are come towards the third question. And before that, friends, a small request. If you are still here with us till now, it's time to give a thumbs up for this video. And if you are new to our channel, please do subscribe. We will putting a lot of content on Agile, Scrum, Business Analyst, Product Owner, and so on. So just browse the channel. You will definitely find something interesting for you. Okay, so with this thought, Kanu, the third
Yes.
question is very important and most asked question, and it's about the challenges, the difficulties, the issue which any business analyst has faced in the past. So if you can just share some of the example and how you overcome those challenges, that's very important for other people to know, Kanu. So yeah, over to
Okay.
you.
As a senior business analyst or a business analyst, there are many difficult challenges that we can face. And the very first thing is that misconception of BA's scope of work. Now, this is very important because normally what happens when there are few people who are new to the project, or the few people who are new to the project development, and they don't understand what is the actual scope of a BA. And because whatever is defined, whatever is written as the scope of a BA and what BA actually does, it differs little bit. So they really don't understand what it is. So the best possible solution for this is that you speak to them, take a meeting, explain them that I am a BA and I will be creating these documents, the requirement documents, the as is documents, to be documents. Second, I will be speaking to the project team, the client team. I will get the inputs from them, get the requirements from them, and then write the documentation. And then the third thing is that I will be talking to the development team and giving them the solution and explaining them what it is. And also finally, when there is a UAT phase, in UAT phase also I will be there. So we have to clearly define the BA scope of work, if there is some misconception in that. The second challenge that I face normally is that while creating the specifications, the needs of the development team do not satisfy. Now, this is a very common and commonly faced issue by a BA, that when we take the specifications from the clients and we form the create the documents, but when we go to the development team, they totally have a different thought process, and they are not satisfied with what we are telling them and what they want. So the best possible solution for this is that we again go back to the client team, get the specifications again from them, document it as possible, as clearly as possible in the documentation, and then create the diagrams. Yes, the diagrams are very, very important. The flow charts are very important to explain them, because and normally the use case diagrams, and there are other diagrams also, like swim lane documents. So if we create those diagrams and explain them, that is more feasible, and the development team can understand what exactly we want to explain them and what exactly we want for them to do. The third difficult challenge that I've faced is the changing the requirements all the time. Now, normally what happens that we take the requirements from the team, from the client, and the next week again they come up, they start pinging us that, okay, we have to change this requirement in the document, and this was not added, and this has to be added. But the best solution for this is what I feel, that it is not necessary that every time we can tell them no, that this requirement will not be added in this. We will take it further. We will park it now. It is not necessary always to do that way. We can understand and see the requirement. And if possible, that if the requirement is small and we can fit in this sprint, we can tell yes, okay, we are ready to take up this requirement. But if they are coming regular and regular, if that requirement is coming, then the best thing is to freeze the requirement. When we speak to the client and we get the SDD done, we get the approval from them and freeze the requirement if they are coming regularly. Sometimes it's okay. The fourth difficult challenge that I've seen is the conflict with stakeholders. As I told you earlier also, that there are some difficult stakeholders with whom we have to talk to and get the work done, and we really can't avoid them. So there are many conflicts that arises with those stakeholders. And of course, even if they are not the difficult stakeholders, they are normal stakeholders also, still they have some input, still they feel that the work is not done on time, and it is not going, and the project is not going as they want to. So we are the ones, we need to solve their conflicts and decide and give them the proper say the structure of the project's plan and how the project will go. The fifth biggest challenge that I've faced is undocumented processes. Now, the best possible way to solve this undocumented processes document it properly. The very first thing, there can be two things in this. One is that the project client team says that the documents are not clear. So in this, the possible solution is that BA should sit and document it properly and give the documents as clearly as possible. Second is that the requirements have not come properly. So in that case, we have to talk to the client team, have the call with them, and get the requirements as properly as possible, and then document those. So these are the five possible difficult challenges that I have faced in my course. So yeah, and even I've shared the possible solutions of those.
Great, great. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Kanu. Okay.
Thank you.
Now, this next one is also a little bit tricky. So now let's assume that there is a delay with respect to some sort of deliverables or whatever the business operation which we are doing due to us, right? So how you manage this kind of situation in which you are faced with a delay that affect your business operations?
Right. That is also a very important thing which we normally face. And that is also a very difficult situation when we really face a delay in uh, is affected in business operations. So the best thing would be to actually have a call with the business operations team and speak to them and understand where there was a delay, and then set the realistic goals for your project. Now normally we set up the very haywire project goals, but in this case when the delay has already occurred, we need to have a meeting with them and set the realistic goals with them with proper plan, and then hold meetings with them, gather the right resources. Now here there's sometimes it can be a problem can be that we haven't had the proper resources. The resources can be the proper the tools that we want to use, or the accesses that we wanted, they were not given. So we have to gather the right resources and document those also, what we want. Then it is schedule it carefully. Now we have to schedule each and every plan and each and every task that we have in that. We have to schedule it carefully and see that we track and measure the process, the progress of this project, or the process, the business process that we are doing. Each and every task needs to be processed properly and tracked properly. Then the main thing comes is forecast. We have to forecast that okay, this project we will complete within 3 months. We have to give a proper deadline, and we have to see that we achieve that deadline. And then another thing is prioritize the tasks. So here again we have to prioritize the tasks. Here we have to see that the where the delay was done. Say maybe for example the accesses were not given, or the delay was in the development. So we have to actually make them the priority and make those tasks priority and complete those on priority. Then we have to set the new deadlines. Once the deadline is gone, because the delay has already done, so the deadline is gone, so we have to set up the new deadline, and we have to see that we achieve that deadline by communicating. Communication is another thing, that we have to keep on communicating to the teams which are included and involved in this thing, entire thing. And finally, the best way to manage this delay is create the Kanban boards and the Jira boards and management tools, use them and go through those, because these Kanban boards will help us to arrange the task and prioritize the task and complete the plan on time. So these are few things that I feel will really help us to change the situation, and whatever delay has occurred will not occur again. So I feel, yeah, these things.
Thank you, Kanu. Okay, so this one is again an important one. I would say most of the time interviewer will ask this kind of question just to get to know whether you are actually working on some real life project or not. And this is
Right.
about tooling part. So sometimes they ask like, okay, can you share some of the tools which you think is most effective or is going to help you as a business analyst in carrying out your role and responsibility, right? So if you want to
Yes.
share some of the tools which you feel are important and which
Yes.
all or most of the business analysts should use, so you can share that
Yes.
experience as well, Kanu. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. The while doing the effective communication and work on the duties as a business analyst or a senior business analyst, I use many tools. The very first one is Jira. And Jira tool is a project management tool wherein, as I told earlier, that we can set up the tasks which we have to do, and then slowly we move that task as we work on that. And the Scrum Master is the one who really helps us to guide in those Jira boards and Kanban boards that we create the task with. And then there is one Confluence tool which is also like a Jira tool, but in this we can also add the documents. We can share the documents with that, and we can do lot many things with the documents. And that is an added advantage of Confluence tool. Then comes Trello. Trello is again a project management tool similar to Jira, and in this also we can set up the tasks, the subtasks, and also we can forward the task to the people and assign the task to others. So Trello is another a very good tool which will help us to define our duties and carry out day-to-day activities. Then the third comes Pencil. Pencil is again a very good tool wherein we can create a prototype, and we can show that prototype to the uh, project before even completing the project. How it will look, that prototype we can create in Pencil tool, and we can show them, so that will make them understand, okay, this is the way the project will look. Then comes Microsoft Visio. Visio is the best tool in which we can create as many diagrams, different diagrams that we want. Mostly it is flowchart that we have to create. Then it is use case diagrams that we have to create. Then there, apart from that, there are many diagrams that we can create if we want, mostly the swim lane diagrams, all that. So Microsoft Visio really helps us to actually create those, and then immediately we can share those diagrams with the entire team. And the final one, which I will say, which is really helping me, is Google Docs. Now, Google Docs is a very nice tool wherein we can really save the documents and share the documents, and also change the documents. We can write and read and do all the changes in the document. We can share it to the entire team. We can share it to the outside teams, the cross teams also. And that way, Google Docs is another fantastic tool which is really helping me to effectively do my duties. So these all are the few of the tools that I
Okay.
use.
Okay. Really great, Kanu. Thank you. And yeah, friends, with this, I think for today's short session, we just want to keep it very simple, short. But then at the same time, I think Kanu has given some detailed answers to all the questions which we have put it to him today, Kanu. So thanks for that.
Yes,
And this is just a part one, friends. We will continue this series with Kanu in future as well. I don't know how many parts, but then I really like all your answers, Kanu. So really thank for that. And
sure.
yeah, let's not.
Surely, Sunand, yeah, we will do that other sessions also. It was very nice talking to you.
Okay. Okay. So thanks, friend, and bye. See you in the next session. Bye, guys.
Bye.